The foundation of Apple's success was decades of the invention that revolutionized the way we view technology. Apple is now a well-known brand. Products like iPod, iPhone, and Mac are well known to everyone. If you don't personally own an Apple product, chances are you know someone who does. Apple's triumph, however, did not happen suddenly. Apple gained notoriety because of a groundbreaking invention like the iPod and the iPhone, which transformed computers from mere tools to an integral part of our daily lives. Welcome to Good Lucks, a channel dedicated to inspiring you to expand your mindset, make general life breakthroughs, and realize your full potential to see what life has to offer. Steve Jobs assisted Apple in expanding from his parents' garage to one of the biggest and most prosperous businesses on the planet. Jobs, though, passed away suddenly in 2011 following a protracted fight with pancreatic cancer. Even though Steve Jobs is no longer with us, there is no denying that the firm he helped build and the vision he had for it changed the world. Since Steve Jobs' passing, Apple has concentrated more on improving current products than on introducing brand new ones. Despite this, Apple has managed to lead the way in numerous smartphone and mobile computer technological advancements. There is no doubt that Apple has achieved legendary success in the past, but with more competition than ever will. We would like to see in this video the various dramatic ways that Apple has altered the course of history since its foundation. Without further ado, let's begin. The original Macintosh, a computer anyone could use. As the collaboration between Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne, Apple was founded in 1976. The business was infamously founded in the garage of Steve Jobs' parents' house. Apple has always had a distinctive flair, even in its early years. Apple's aims were always for its products to not only be powerful, but also simple to use. In contrast, many companies at the time, and now, that are focused on mass-producing goods at a low cost. The first Macintosh embodied the notion of making computers available to everyone. The Macintosh was operated using a mouse and graphical interface, much like computers today. At a period when you needed to know fundamental coding to operate a computer, this was a product that anyone could use. It wasn't just for computer geeks and enthusiasts. Modern Macs wouldn't exist without the original Macintosh, and it's possible that the transition of computers from specialized devices to ubiquitous tools would have taken decades rather than years. iMac, art as technology. Even though Apple had established a great reputation in the computer sector in 1997, business wasn't exactly booming. The company was on the verge of bankruptcy after a string of subpar product launches. However, Jobs had a daring strategy to save Apple. Jobs decided to steer Apple in a completely different direction at the time, when a lot of Apple's rivals were concentrating on creating desktop towers and business applications. Steve Jobs frequently referred to Apple as the intersection between technology and liberal arts, which indicates that the company's products were created to be cutting-edge technology as well as aesthetically pleasing, intuitive, and simple to use. Numerous Apple products during this period, culminating in the introduction of the first iMac, represented this idea. The iMac came in 13 colors, from blue to purple to floral designs, at a period when the majority of corporations were introducing boring, beige desktop towers. We haven't often looked back because this was one of the first instances when the general public began to view technology as art rather than just a tool for efficiency. GUI. Apple pioneered a significant shift in how people use computers called the GUI. Although Apple did not create graphical user interfaces, it did make them the norm. The graphical user interface, or GUI for short, was a significant advancement because it eliminated the need to memorize instructions and their syntax and allowed users to navigate their computers by pointing, clicking, and dragging objects with a mouse. Although Xerox PARC, which invested in Apple, provided some of the inspiration for Apple's GUI, the latter was the first business to produce a commercial GUI-based computer, the Apple Lisa, in 1983. The Macintosh, the first widely used computer with a GUI, improved Apple's GUI. Its Mac Paint software made digital art accessible to regular computer users, and its GUI made it possible to develop apps like PageMaker and Photoshop, which would later revolutionize publishing. A new way to listen to music with the iPod. Apple developed the notion in 2001 and unveiled the first iPod, which truly changed the game. Although the iPod wasn't the first MP3 player, it was the one that won millions of people worldwide. Apple's marketing and branding played a significant role in that. Many people have pleasant memories of the quirky iPod advertisements using silhouettes and white headphones. Although the iPod was a fantastic piece of technology, its true value lay not in the number of songs it could store, but rather in the way it made you feel. The iPod transformed technology from an impersonal utility into a component of our identity. Although millions of people now have a way to listen to music thanks to Apple's iPod, there was still a need for a better method of finding music. With the introduction of the iTunes Store in 2003, everything was altered. Nearly any song was available for 99 cents each for download on iTunes, eliminating the need to burn CDs or visit dubious websites. It was a win-win-win situation. Customers could quickly access the content they desired. Music labels and artists had a new avenue to distribute their songs, and Apple received. Not only was this kind of business strategy a big success for Apple, but also for many other businesses. Without iTunes, not only would there not be a Google Play Store, but there also wouldn't be an App Store. Although most users now use music streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music instead of iTunes, the concept of centralizing and disseminating material online was first introduced with iTunes and the iPod. The App Store. The idea to debut the iPhone without any apps was immediately changed. Similar to the iPod and iTunes ecosystem, which is a closed ecosystem, iOS and its App Store have been imitated by everyone else. Although Apple's approvals procedure occasionally comes out as being overly strict, it has successfully kept viruses and scams at bay. The combination of secure apps and affordable costs encourages customers to purchase more software, and Apple has contributed to this trend by setting the price of its apps incredibly cheap. GarageBand, which costs just £2.99, is the software steal of the century and has a clear connection to the Apple I's inclusion of Apple Basic. Our attitude is to supply software for our devices for free or at a low cost, as the advertisements from the 1970s put it. The iPhone, the original contemporary smartphone. The first iPhone, which many people regard to be the first modern smartphone, was unveiled by Apple in 2007. What the iPod had going for it, the iPhone took and amplified, fusing emotion, technology, and design. At the time, it was a big commercial success, and the iPhone continues to be Apple's best-selling item today. Most crucially, the iPhone made it simple to access the internet. Other so-called smart devices at the time could only access mobile data, but frequently not complete websites. Even those that did include a basic browser required a cumbersome stylus or keyboard to operate. The iPhone, in contrast to those devices, could access the real web, marking one of the early steps towards making the internet something we could use at home and carry with us wherever we went. Your smartphone wouldn't look the way it does today without the first iPhone, whether you're a die-hard Android user or an iPhone devotee. And not long after the iPhone was made available, Apple created the iPad, making smart tablets widely available. The iPad. The significance of the iPad cannot be overstated today or in the past. Before the invention of the iPad, learning how to use the computer was a prerequisite for any computer-related activity. You can simply carry out your wishes when using an iPad. Perform piano? A piano is an iPad. Publish a letter? It's a typing machine. Finishing a book? It's a book. Firebirds that explode, a catapult that is. The iPad introduced a new type of computer, which was bad news for Microsoft and Intel. Years later, Apple now produces a wide range of goods, including iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, Mac computers, Apple Watches, Apple TVs, a variety of accessories, and much more. The Apple company, as a whole, has developed new concepts with each new product it releases, and has included even more innovative features that are quickly evolving into industry standards. The features that are expected with every new Apple product include facial recognition, fingerprint scanning, augmented reality, and high-definition video quality, to just name a few. Although it is yet unclear what the coming decade will bring, it is easy to anticipate that businesses from around the world will be vying to develop the next innovation that will forever alter how we live. Whatever the product, it will probably cause us to reflect on the technology we presently own, appreciate what we have today, and recognize the distinctions between it and the technology we will possess in the future. Whether you like Apple products or not, you can't deny that the company's first smartphone was the most revolutionary, original, and amazing items ever created. Post any more queries or remarks in the comments area. Click the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the video, so that others might view it and be inspired. To ensure that you don't miss any new videos regarding personal development, enable the notification bell as well. We'll see you in a future video.